With Trump and many of his media boosters appearing to have backed off the most pro-war rhetoric in their stance towards Iran, it might seem to some people that, oh, okay, good, Donald Trump's gonna be reasonable on this issue. And perhaps vis-a-vis Iran, he might, although stay tuned for that. But we are still very much involved in a number of conflicts in the region, and I wanted to touch base with how Donald Trump is managing a few of them to make sure that people understand the stakes going forward when it comes to American foreign policy. Now, he was interviewed last Friday by Laura Ingraham, and a few of the casual comments that he made somehow did not make much of a wave in the national media, and I don't understand how that is possible. I wanna show a few of them to you. Here is the first. Here is what Donald Trump believes that the US's continuing involvement in Syria should end up with.
Moved our troops out of Syria on the border between Turkey and Syria. That turned out to be such a successful move, Laura. Look what happened. Now they protect their own. They've been fighting over that border for 1,000 years. Why should we do it? And then they say he left troops in Syria. You know what I did? I left troops to take the oil. I took the oil. The only troops I have are taking the oil. They're protecting the oil. I took over
We're taking the oil. We're not taking the oil.
Well, maybe we will, maybe we won't.
They're protecting the facility.
I don't know, maybe we should take it, but we have the oil. Right now, the United States has the oil. So they say he left troops in Syria. No, I got rid of all of them other than we're protecting the oil. We have the oil.
That, it's 2020, so I guess that's not a big deal. That's not horrendous or shocking or making a clear promise of war crimes that he plans on committing in that region. What he was saying was so extreme, so indefensible that Laura Ingraham, who is literally one of the worst people on television, she was shocked by it. And she recovered. She attempted to give him some sort of out, and he doubled down on promising to commit war crimes in Syria. So let's just be clear about this, and this is something we covered before because he's made some of these comments back in October of last year. Energy and security experts say it's unlikely that any American companies would be interested in the enormous risks and limited profits such an arrangement would entail, where they move into Syria and start developing its oil. Even at its peak, Syrian oil production was modest, and any short-term revenue potential is severely limited by logistical challenges posed by infrastructure damaged by war, pipelines that run into unfriendly areas, and the unusually low grade of the oil itself. Those are all minor concerns compared to the most important, which is that you cannot simply invade a country and then take its natural resources. That is pillaging. It is a war crime. It's not allowed. This is Ryan Goodman, former special legal counsel for the Department of Defense, saying US military commanders who engaged in pillaging Syria's oil would risk criminal liability under the US War Crimes Act. The international rules of war were designed to deter nations from engaging in predatory wars to seize other countries' natural resources. Now, this is something that America and our empire have done for a very long time, obviously. They usually at least had the instincts to hide that that's what they're doing. Donald Trump not only can't hide it, but he just repeats it over and over like he's having some sort of weird tick in his brain. He just kept saying, we're taking the oil, we're taking the oil, we're taking the oil. He's too dumb to know that it's not even good quality oil and there's not much. It wouldn't be worth it even if we were doing that, but we certainly shouldn't do that because it's not just immoral, but also illegal, okay? And perhaps it's a good thing, I guess, in some way, as sick as all of the consequences of Donald Trump being president have been, that he's going to make it this clear to people that when we send troops into other countries, very often it is for this sort of self-serving goal. Not self-serving from the point of view of the American people, because they won't benefit in any way, even if we were to steal their oil. But for international oil companies, it's beneficial. Them having a guarantee of access to natural resources is a good thing. Doesn't benefit the American people, but it can, in the right circumstances, benefit these international corporations who own most US politicians, including Donald Trump. That has become as clear as it will ever be. And I guess maybe too clear for the American media, not sexy enough at this point. He said that over and over. It's the ultimate clip. But they didn't care. It wasn't a story over the weekend. It's like, oh, US promises that they're gonna pillage the natural resources of another country. Ho hum, let's move on. No, let's not move on. Let's make clear to the American people that this is the consequence of allowing this sort of politician to maintain control over American foreign policy. It has seemed to me, and it's been very frustrating throughout the Democratic primary so far, that questions of foreign policy, questions of the stance of the American military, the future of spending on the American military has not really been apparently a big motivator in terms of who is being supported in this primary. The fact, for instance, that Joe Biden was so supportive of the Iraq war hasn't really seemed to hurt him. But can you really blame people when the stakes in this area are just cast in the side? They're put in the shadows. We don't focus on them. So of course, people are not gonna be picking who they support in the Democratic primary based on that. The media acts as if it's a secondary concern. Thank you for watching this clip from The Damage Report. For more content from the show and access to TYT Network members-only exclusives, go to tyt.com/Brooke. Wait, no, it's tyt.com/John. Go to tyt.com/John to sign up.